Across the world, millions of people are searching for more than information. They are searching for direction, for clarity, for discipline, for a deeper understanding of how to live with purpose, integrity, responsibility, and conscious alignment. Many can feel that the old ways of confusion, exploitation, fear, and division are no longer enough. They are seeking a higher standard of personal conduct, stronger emotional foundations, wiser leadership, and a practical path toward becoming more stable, discerning, compassionate, and accountable human beings. The established teaching of alignment to the global collective has been proclaimed to meet that need. This teaching declares that genuine wisdom should be made available to those who sincerely desire it, not through pressure, not through fear, not through forced belief, but through ethical facilitation, informed participation, responsible mentorship, and the preservation of individual dignity and free will. Through the chosen collective, willing seekers will be introduced to practical principles of personal sovereignty, integrity, emotional maturity, spiritual reflection, purpose development, collective responsibility, and service to humanity. These teachings are designed not to create dependence, but strength, not blind obedience, but discernment, not superiority, but character, not isolation, but meaningful contribution. The mission is to help individuals examine their choices, confront destructive patterns, strengthen their inner discipline, develop healthy boundaries, and transform wisdom into visible action within their families, communities, institutions, and daily lives. This is not a mission of control. It is a mission of illumination. It is a commitment to ensure that those who genuinely seek guidance are met with structure, compassion, accountability, and truth. And now, to formally introduce this decree, explain its global significance, define the responsibilities of the chosen collective, and reveal how this teaching mission will be facilitated throughout the world. We welcome the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Next Transformation Initiative, the chosen leader and divine shepherd of the 144,000, Sébastianus Christiani Alvérius.
Chosen collective, appointed facilitators, teachers, mentors, guardians of wisdom, and servants of humanity. I greet you under the enduring principles of truth, nonviolence, and teaching. Today, I formally proclaim a sacred and practical responsibility now entrusted to the chosen collective: the establishment and facilitation of the teachings of alignment for those throughout the global community who genuinely desire wisdom. This is not a mission of domination, mind you. It is not a command to force belief upon the unwilling. It is not permission to manipulate, shame, frighten, or spiritually pressure another human being. It is a responsibility to become prepared teachers for those who are already searching. Across the world, people are seeking clarity, discipline, purpose, integrity, emotional stability, spiritual understanding, and a more responsible way of living. They are asking how to become powerful without becoming oppressive, how to become compassionate without accepting exploitation, how to forgive without returning to harm, how to lead without controlling, how to serve without abandoning themselves, how to build prosperity without sacrificing integrity, how to honor spiritually while remaining grounded in truth and practical responsibility. You see, these questions are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that humanity is still reaching toward wisdom. And when wisdom is sincerely requested, it should not be withheld. Therefore, the chosen collective shall establish a global teaching mission grounded in free will, accountability, discernment, dignity, ethical leadership, and service. We shall teach those who who genuinely desire to learn. We shall guide those who freely request guidance. We shall create pathways for those prepared to examine themselves, strengthen their character, and transform wisdom into responsible action. But we must never confuse facilitation with control. The role of the chosen collective is not to create followers who cannot think without us. Our responsibility, instead, is to help develop individuals who can think clearly, act responsibly, discern wisely, govern themselves, and stand in truth independently. A true teacher does not weaken the learner or in order to preserve authority. A true teacher strengthens the learner. A true mentor does not demand worship, unquestioned obedience, or permanent dependence. A true mentor guides the student through integrity, courage, discipline, compassion, maturity, and self-governance. This is the standard by which our teaching mission must be measured. Chosen collective. Alignment is not a title. It is not a costume. It is not a slogan, ceremony, or public declaration of spiritual superiority. Alignment is the harmonization of belief, conduct, responsibility, purpose, and service. A person cannot truthfully claim alignment without deceiving others. They cannot claim alignment while exploiting the vulnerable. They cannot claim alignment while avoiding accountability. They cannot claim alignment while using fear, shame, or manipulation to secure loyalty. Alignment must be visible in conduct. It is demonstrated when truth is chosen over convenience, when boundaries are respected, when correction is received without retaliation, when power is used to protect rather than dominate, when wisdom produces compassion instead of arrogance, when knowledge produces service instead of self-glorification. Before the chosen collective can teach alignment to the world, we must practice alignment within ourselves. We cannot teach peace while producing chaos. We cannot teach integrity while excusing dishonesty. We cannot teach discernment while demanding blind agreement. We cannot teach dignity while humiliating those who are still learning. We cannot teach accountability while placing leaders beyond examination. Our conduct will speak more loudly than our instruction. Every facilitator will become evidence of what these teachings produce. Every teacher will either strengthen the credibility of this mission, or weaken it. Therefore, those authorized to teach must be held at a high ethical standard. Teachers must be prepared, patient, truthful, disciplined, and humble. They must distinguish personal opinion from established principles, you see. They must never exploit their position for money, intimacy, praise, labor, influence, or emotional dependence. They must never use spiritual language to excuse misconduct. They must never declare that disagreement automatically proves disloyalty, darkness, inferiority, or corruption. No teacher shall be beyond accountability. Authority without accountability becomes corruption. Leadership without humility becomes domination. Teaching without integrity becomes manipulation. The chosen collective must never become what it was appointed to help humanity overcome. For this reason, the global teaching mission must include clear training, verification, ethical standards, supervision, and a formal process for correction. Not everyone who desires a platform is ready to teach. Not everyone who speaks confidently possesses wisdom. Not everyone who uses spiritual language is spiritually mature. Charisma is not qualification. Popularity is not qualification. Proximity to leadership is not qualification. The teacher must be examined by the fruit of their conduct. Do they create clarity or confusion? Strength or dependency? Responsibility or submission? Do they respect boundaries? Do they receive correction? Do they serve the mission, or do they use the mission to serve themselves? You see, these questions must remain active throughout every level of facilitation. Chosen collective. Our teachings must address the whole individual. We shall teach personal sovereignty, but never selfishness. Compassion, but never separation. Discipline, but never cruelty. Forgiveness, but never forced reconciliation with those who remain harmful. Service, but never exploitation. Prosperity, but never greed. Spiritual reflection, but never abandonment of practical reality. Confidence, but never superiority. Collective responsibility, but never the destruction of individual freedom. Alignment must influence how a person communicates, manages anger, handles money, treats family, responds to betrayal, uses power, resolves conflict, protects their well-being, develops purpose, and contributes to society. The teachings must therefore remain practical. They must not become powerful sounding declarations that produce no measurable change. A person who receives these teachings should become more responsible, discerning, stable, compassionate, and more capable of service. If a program produces fear, dependency, humiliation, confusion, or instability, it must be removed, or reviewed at least. If a facilitator misuses authority, that facilitator must be corrected or removed. If any practice violates consent, dignity, or lawful rights, it must be abolished. The mission is not weakened by correction. The mission is protected by truth. Chosen collective, hear me clearly now. We must preserve the freedom of every sincere seeker if we do this, and which we are. Participation must remain voluntary. No person shall be threatened for declining, by the way, and no person shall be told that withdrawal proves they are condemned, disloyal, spiritual inferior, or unworthy. And no seeker shall be required to surrender their finances, relationships, personal documents, communications, transportation, and other matters, including medical decisions or independent judgment. And no person shall be punished merely for asking difficult questions. Truth does not fear examination, you see. Wisdom does not require coercion. Forced agreement is not alignment. Silent compliance is not alignment. Authentic alignment must be consciously chosen. Our responsibility is to create an environment where individuals can understand principles, test them through discernment, accept personal responsibility, and decide how those principles should be embodied. We shall make the teachings available through public addresses, written curricula, digital platforms, mentorship, community circles, academies, international conferences, leadership training, service projects, and the global broadcast. These teachings must be understandable across cultures, languages, educational levels, and circumstances. We must approach the global community with humility also. The Chosen Collective is not the owner of all wisdom. We should never be. Wisdom for all. We are, however, facilitators. We may teach, but we must also listen. We may guide, but we must also learn. Every culture and community carries knowledge born from history, struggle, survival, creativity, and experience. Our mission is not to erase that wisdom. It is to engage it responsibly, preserve what is life-giving, challenge what is harmful, and build bridges between spiritual insight and practical human development. We must also remember that wisdom cannot be separated from reality. A hungry person may require food before philosophy. A homeless person may require shelter before instruction. A traumatized person may require qualified care before intensive spiritual teaching. A person in danger may require protection before reconciliation. Alignment must therefore connect, where possible, with education, financial literacy, housing stability, employment preparation, family support, health resources, youth development, conflict resolution, and community service. These practical needs are not separate from alignment. They are among its expressions. The seeker also carries responsibility. Those who request wisdom must be willing to practice it. It is not enough to attend teachings, repeat powerful words, collect titles, or claim spiritual advancement. We are the chosen collective, much more advanced than that, of course. The seeker must examine their conduct. Where am I dishonest? Where am I avoiding responsibility? Where am I repeating cycles I already understand? Where am I permitting fear to govern me? Where am I refusing necessary boundaries? Where am I using pain as permission to harm others? Where am I speaking a purpose? Or develop without developing discipline? You see, these questions are not intended to condemn. They are intended to awaken. No person can correct what they refuse to acknowledge. No one can heal what they continually defend. A teacher cannot perform the learner's inner work. The chosen collective may provide the map, illuminate the danger, open the door, and offer support. But each person must choose to walk. And as they walk, they must understand that wisdom is not complete until it produces service. The final evidence of alignment is not how enlightened a person claims to be. It is how they treat others, how they respond to correction, how they behave when they possess power, how they conduct themselves when disappointed, how they serve those who cannot reward them, how they use what they have learned to strengthen homes, communities, institutions, and future generations. The teachings must produce builders, protectors, problem solvers, ethical leaders, disciplined servants, people capable of standing firmly without becoming cruel, people capable of correcting injustice without producing hatred, people capable of carrying wisdom into the practical conditions of life. My beloved chosen collective, the world has heard many promises. It has heard leaders speak of peace while preparing conflict. It has heard institutions proclaim justice while protecting corruption. It has heard spiritual authorities speak of love while practicing control. Therefore, our words alone will not be enough. Humanity must see evidence. It must see teachers who embody what they teach, institutions willing to correct themselves, leaders who do not fear accountability, programs that strengthen rather than exploit, participants who become more stable responsible, discerning, and compassionate. We should not demand trust merely because we declare ourselves appointed. Trust must be earned through conduct. Respect must be earned through consistency. Authority must be justified through service. This decree is therefore not only a proclamation of what the chosen collective will teach, it is a declaration of what the chosen collective must become. We must become disciplined enough to teach without ego, humble enough to listen, strong enough to remove those who misuse authority, compassionate enough to meet people where they are, courageous enough to speak difficult truths, responsible enough to measure the impact of our work, and aligned enough to ensure that this mission never becomes centered upon personal glorification. Chosen collective, hear me clearly. We are not being called merely to speak. We are being called to build, to organize, to prepare, to train ethical facilitators, to create accessible curricula, to establish safeguards, to provide a web of avenues for questions, complaints, appeals, and correction, to bring wisdom out of ceremonial halls and into homes, schools, communities, institutions, and the daily lives of people facing real oppressions. The wisdom must reach those who are ready, not through force, but through availability, not through superiority, but through sincerity, not through domination, but through example. This is the established teaching of alignment to the global collective. It is the commitment that wisdom shall be made available to those who genuinely desire it. It is the declaration that consent shall be protected. Discernment shall be honored. Leadership shall remain accountable. Questions shall be permitted. Service shall be the evidence. Character shall stand above title. And truth shall remain greater than any individual who claims to represent it. So, chosen collective, I charge you, prepare yourselves before attempting to prepare the world. Examine your motives, strengthen your discipline, study deeply, listen carefully, speak responsibly, honor boundaries, protect the vulnerable, correct misconduct, reject arrogance, refuse manipulation, teach with compassion, lead with integrity, serve without demanding worship, and always remember, the greatest teacher is not the one surrounded by the most followers. The greatest teacher is the one who helps others become wise enough, strong enough, and responsible enough to stand in truth for themselves. To the global collective, we declare, those who genuinely seek wisdom shall find an open door. Those who request guidance shall be met with dignity. Those who ask honest questions shall not be condemned. Those prepared to transform shall be given practical pathways. Those who have fallen at all shall be shown how to rise responsibly. Those who have been deceived shall be taught discernment. Those who feel powerless shall be reminded of their capacity for conscious action. And those who receive wisdom shall be called to carry it forward through service. May our teachings produce stability where there has been confusion, integrity where there has been corruption, courage where there has been fear, compassion where there has been cruelty, responsibility where there has been avoidance. Discernment where there has been manipulation. Service where there has been selfishness. And conscious alignment where there has been disorder. Chosen collective, rise now into the responsibility of teaching. Not as rulers of the human conscience, not as owners of truth, not as masters demanding submission, but as prepared facilitators, responsible mentors, ethical leaders, compassionate servants, and living examples of the principles we proclaim. Let wisdom be offered. Let free will be preserved. Let dignity be protected. Let truth be examined. Let leadership remain accountable. Let every seeker become stronger. Let the teacher remain humble. Let alignment become visible through conduct. And let the global collective be invited, not forced, to rise into greater wisdom, stability, purpose, responsibility, and service. By divine appointment, under sacred responsibility, and in service to the advancement of humanity, I formally proclaim the established teaching of alignment to the global collective, facilitated by the chosen collective at large, for all who genuinely desire wisdom. May we teach faithfully. May we serve honorably. May we lead responsibly. And may the wisdom entrusted to us become the light that empowers humanity rather than a chain that controls it. Truth, nonviolence, teaching. Ashe Samutu be inshallah Sirat Tatash too. And amen.
The shift has begun. Alignment is no longer optional. To the 15th virtue.
Said I was crazy because they couldn't see what I see. I'm making a difference. I finally see it. The world is ready, and I was made for this.
On behalf of the TNT initiative, we affirm a single covenant. Every person safeguarded, every violation answered. This is our protection, uncompromised and enduring.
The future isn't waiting for us. It's being built right now. Together, we'll carry it forward. Can you really?
When you let the weight fall away, you discover the power that's always been within you. Choose freedom. Choose creation. The future is yours.
The Global Maturity Matrix, measuring civilizational stability across 8.1 billion lives. From the veins of a city to the lives within it, the Matrix captures real-time signals of stability. Every pulse, every choice, shapes the strength of the whole. That together, they light the path forward, reminding us that flexibility is not weakness, but wisdom. When communities share knowledge and respond as one, resilience matures into something.
Broadcasting from the Sovereign Broadcast Command, the Global Center for Leadership, Communication, and Alignment.
This is the Sovereign Broadcast Command. Stay aligned. Stay informed.
Morning, this city wakes with a million lights, but none of them matter if we hide who we are. Authenticity is the one thing they cannot replicate. When we choose to be real, and when that change begins, it spreads faster than any signal in these towers. It turns strangers into neighbors and cities into homes. That's the future I'm standing for.
Adversity doesn't end the journey. It awakens who you were meant to become.
Attention all beings of light. The decree has been issued. Separate immediately from karmic individuals. Protect your energy. The time is now.
Crownstone. Standards. Stability. Stewardship.
Heart of light. The child of the sun emerges, destined to lead.
Born of the sun, chosen by the cosmos. The child of the sun walks among us.
Connecting the world. This is TNTI Global Media Broadcast, Chosen Collective Global News.
They judged him over sugar. They never knew his value. Perception is shallow. Abundance is real.
We learned how to live, but never how to understand ourselves. That changes now.
There comes a moment when silence is no longer protection and awareness becomes law. To those who operate in secrecy, to those who manipulate, deceive, and attempt to control what.
Why do I call the Creator Dad? Because I was never alone. I was guided, corrected, protected. That's my dad.
Change doesn't mean displacement.
May the Almighty bless this moment of victory. May we build the new earth with wisdom, compassion, and truth. Let what rises now honor heaven, serve humanity, and stand.
Where growth demands structure, protection demands clarity, a system built on responsibility and governed by standard. The Chosen Defense Mandate.
Systems transform. When individuals align, systems transform. Or high vibrational certification. Don't forget.
It began with a mark.
What is happening to me?
A call across the stars.
The sky's tearing open.
Only the chosen can stand. And you are one of them.
Every soul carries a destiny. Every destiny holds a path. Discover yours. The Chosen Leader Tarot.
Where growth demands structure, protection demands clarity, a system built on responsibility and governed by standard. The Chosen Defense Mandate.
Most people spend their future the moment they receive it. The Chosen protect the principle. They live off the interest. Never touch the...
Most people receive and immediately consume and wonder why nothing ever grows. The Chosen move differently. They protect the principle and let the returns feed the future. Protect what you earn. Build what lasts. Let your money work for you. Principal Guard.
Your life changes when your energy changes. Speak life. Protect your energy. Choose peace. Forgive. Stay present. Connect to something greater. When you honor these rules, you don't just rise above, you radiate. Keep your light steady. The world feels it.
You're the problem. You're the problem.
Know the difference.
Who am I? Beneath everything.
Some things don't stay buried.
To find God, he must face himself.
Across galaxies, across time, a federation stands watch. Not as rulers, but as God. They stood unseen until we were ready to see. And now, the veil is lifted. All across the world, we looked up together. And for the first time, we felt safe. They are not coming. They have always been here.
The chosen do not stand above humanity. They stand with it. Forgiveness is here. You are released. You are welcome.
I served for years as a supervisor and disaster responder with the American Red Cross in New York City, helping families rebuild after fires and evacuations. Today, I launched the Universal Care Alliance, working along. They were called, just like we were called. They were chosen, just like we were chosen. They were given gifts, sacred gifts, divine assignments, but instead of alignment, they chose the shortcut into currency. Pennies on the dollar for something that was priceless. And now, the gifts are gone, stripped, removed, disconnected from the source. They refuse to honor. They ignored correction in the unseen, so now they answer in the seen. This is not revenge. This is order.
If they turn that engine into a weapon, none of us are free.
I was born to the sky, but I've never felt this heavy.
Then let's lighten it. Hold on.
Council won't stop until they own the future.
Then we build...
United Earth's orbit is reaching a critical threshold. Now, the world unites. The United Space Industry Alliance, securing humanity's future in orbit.
I'm alive. And I need to say this. Greed is tearing families apart. My own relatives spread lies, told the world I was gone just to grab my inheritance. That hunger for money eats at the soul. It blinds people.
Above the noise of man-made rules, there are laws that never change. Laws written into the fabric of creation itself. When we live by them, harmony returns, communities... This is the TNT Initiative. The apex 144,000 have awakened, joined by 3 further tiers. 360 million chosen across the earth. Together, we are rewriting...
The TNT Initiative presents SMART, Starseed Mastery and Readiness Training. Through SEED, you are purified, attuned, mapped, and aligned. Through SEED, your gifts...
You were never meant to surrender your authority. You were conditioned to give it away. The Sovereignty Code is the field manual for the chosen. Pragmatic clarity for modern life, energetic protection without fear, boundaries with calm power.
No force has the authority to remove what God has placed on the chosen. Opposition may press, but it cannot anoint and it cannot revoke. Anointing is not fragile. Protection is not negotiable.
The Catalyst Covenant holds this unshakable truth. Only God gives the anointing, and only God can take it away. Opposition may press, but it does not grant power. Resistance tests alignment on every side, yet...
Felt it. The pressure, the constant test. That's the Chosen One Olympics. Honey traps. Low-level dummies thrown at you without even knowing why. Now it's confirmed. DNA studies link you to pharaohs, kings, queens.
Stand on the threshold of a new dawn. The call to guard the realms is for each of us. Almost 400 million hearts beat as one under this vision. As a co-creator, I only hope...
He's got more money than he'll ever need!
They're trying to claim your inheritance, and the judges in their coven. Their bills are drowning them, and they want your money to pay their debts. Spirit says, don't be nervous. Everything will be okay. This treasure was set aside...
In a world built to last, our connections keep us whole. Together, we protect what matters, carrying life forward, generation to generation. New Earth continues.
Chosen leader.
am a chosen one. I am a chosen one. A divine being of light of all mankind.
And the definitive enforcer of the universe's advancements for the betterment of all mankind.
For the betterment of all mankind.
One by one, they awaken. Heart steady, purpose clear, synchronize. They are no longer awakening. They are now activated.
To master the world, one must first master the self.
And to master the self, one must align with the divine purpose within. Power without alignment is chaos, but power guided by purpose
And when many hearts beat in that harmony,
the world changes.
Together then.
Together.
I understand now.
We are connected.
It was always within us.
Something is happening worldwide and no one can explain it.
This is not the end of the old world. This is the beginning of the true one.
History demands leadership. When direction is needed most, the world is watching.
And together, we are turning ideas into action. Thank you for being part of the movement.
Something is changing. The systems you know are no longer enough. A new structure is being built. Alignment, abundance, evolution, continuity. Enter and begin.